Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some new Ninjago concept art that emerged over the weekend from various users on Twitter and the Ninjago staff as well. Now, concept art in the Ninjago series is always fun to look at. As a big Ninjago fan who's seen the entirety of the series, it's always fun to go back through earlier ideas or rough concepts to see how they differ from what we ended up getting as the final product. And in today's video, we have a couple of pieces of concept art that I want to take a look at that suggested a very early draft of possibly Ninjago Hunted that was actually a lot more crazy and, I guess, thoroughly insane compared to what we ended up getting as the final product for Ninjago Hunted. I would like to show you guys each piece of concept art on its own. I'll give my personal thoughts on it, and we will just have a lengthy discussion about what could have been for Ninjago Hunted. I assume that's what season this is supposed to be. Could be wrong about that though, but this stuff does look pretty Hunted-esque, so keep that in mind as we continue forward. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's take a look at the first piece of concept art, which actually involves the Great Devourer to an extent. You'll see what I mean. Alright guys, the first piece of Ninjago concept art that we have to take a look at here today is this piece right here entitled Dawn of the Devourers. So this thing, yeah, very much looks like the dawn of a whole bunch of snakes emerging onto Ninjago. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different snakes here, each one with their own distinct colors, markings, armor even, and it appears that each one has a rider as well. In a way, this could be similar to the ninjas and their dragons, except this time we have these guys on giant snakes. Now, considering how this is the Dawn of the Devourers, this makes me think that these snakes are related to the Great Devourer in some way. Maybe they were going to reveal that in the Ninjago series, there's not just one Great Devourer, but a whole bunch of snakes belonging to that same species. Sure, some of them might look a little different, some of them may have different markings or colors or shapes even, but that could be explained pretty easily. Not every snake in this species has to look the exact same. I like how there's 5 here though, one for each serpentine tribe maybe. The Anaconda right here, Fangpyre, Venomari, Hypnobrai, and that would leave Constricti back here. Not married to that idea, but it is worth pointing out that's just something that I noticed there. What else is here? We actually have this purple snake right here. Looks very similar to the purple Anaconda serpent that Klaus had during season 4. Not sure if the original plan was for that serpent to survive and take on this appearance, perhaps. Also not really sure who this guy is right here. In fact, I'm not sure who any of these riders are. Some of them you can make out pretty easily, like this guy looks like almost like the Omega from season 10. This guy looks a little bit more mysterious. He has like a red katana or something here, a little bit more ninja-esque. But yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of this concept art, except for maybe at one point during Ninjago's early development, they were planning on introducing more than one Great Devourer, or maybe, as I said, different snakes belonging to that same species, like we saw with the Great Devourer earlier in Ninjago's history. Maybe the original idea for Hunted was to have these snakes, and as such the Great Devourer species, originate from the first realm. Maybe the original Devourer came out of the first realm somehow and into Ninjago. Not really sure about that, but these guys do look similar to the Dragon Hunters in some way, you know, Iron Baron's Dragon Hunter army, so I can see that being the case. Again, if I had to make a best guess here, I believe this season was initially intended to introduce more Great Devourers, and it was probably one of the original ideas for Ninjago Hunted. Here's another piece of concept art, again, very similar to the imagery that we see in Ninjago Hunted. As you can see, we have 3 distinct figures here. Each one has their own very unique look and feel. This guy's green with a type of mask, almost looks like Bionicle. This guy is pretty interesting looking. And we have this guy back here, appears to be wearing skull armor. Speaking of skulls, look at all the skulls everywhere. It's like carnage. Look at this. A lot of really dark imagery here. But then again, this was very similar to the Dragon Hunters as well. This concept piece is known as the War Chiefs. So yeah, I can totally see that being the name of these guys. I almost wonder if maybe these guys were going to be the generals of the original concept for the Dragon Hunter army. As I mentioned, these guys might actually be the ones riding the Great Devourers that we see in this concept art. Not really sure though if I can match each one to somebody here. This guy kind of looks like maybe he could be this guy, but these guys also look pretty different from these guys, which makes me think that maybe they might be 2 distinct groups. Either way, I'm kind of disappointed that this, I guess, design for some of these characters didn't end up in the final product for Ninjago in any season. We've seen similar things before, as I said, in Ninjago Hunted, we've seen similar things, similar dark imagery with skulls as well. So maybe maybe this was, again, another proto design for Hunted, but I'm not too sure about this one. I can totally see why they decided to not use this, though. I mean, with the name, the war chiefs, and some of the Native American-inspired imagery going on here, maybe Ninjago and LEGO especially didn't want to, you know, go as far as to offend any one particular group of people, but I don't know that for sure. I just can see this image being pretty problematic, I guess, to some people online, especially Ninjago Twitter, so I'm kind of happy that this didn't happen, you know, so we can avoid that conflict. But still, I think these guys are pretty cool looking, all things considered. I like this sort of idea, and I hope that maybe later on in the Ninjago series, we could see something a little bit more akin to this. Here we have another piece of concept art. This one's known as Lloyd versus Pancho, however you want to pronounce his or her name. Right here is the text referring to the actual guy riding the snake or the snake itself. Who's to say? But we can see Lloyd here in a very interesting ninja outfit. He has like this sort of, you know, for lack of a better term, poncho on with his traditional season 8 or season 9 mask, so that's interesting to point out. This is another reason why I think that these concepts might have been for an early idea of Ninjago Hunted, especially with how this guy looks up here. With the white skin and the darker armor, the darker clothes, he looks very similar to the dragon hunters from season 9, which again really backs up the point that perhaps these were originally meant to be concepts for Ninjago Hunted. But as you can see, elephant in the room, he's riding a giant snake, perhaps another one of those Great Devourer-esque beasts. Maybe instead of the first realm having a whole bunch of dragons, it could have had a whole bunch of snakes, similar to the Great Devourer. And as I said, relating to the other picture, right back here, maybe this was a realm in which the Devourer's species originally came from. I could see that being the case, and maybe the original just hopped over to Ninjago somehow. But either way, this looks amazing here. I love how this battle would look. I wonder who would win this battle, Lloyd or this weird snake dude with this guy riding on top of it? That's interesting to think about. And last up here, we have this piece of concept art that I want to take a look at. Now, this is known as the Dragon Mask. Pretty self-explanatory, goes over the ninjas' heads, or whoever just so happens to be wearing the dragon mask. This very well could have been an original idea or an original concept of the golden dragon armor, which ultimately played a huge role in season 9's story. We can see similar attributes of both. You know, like the mask covering the mouth, the dragon armor, the dragon bone blade is right here. Looks more like the fire elemental blade, but still doesn't actually look too bad to me. Not really sure which character is currently wearing the dragon mask in this picture. I'm seeing bits of red and obviously the fire sword, so maybe it's supposed to be Kai. Not too sure about that. Very Bionicle-esque as well. Maybe this was actually inspired by Bionicle. I would not be surprised. But yeah, the dragon mask, I can get into that. That sounds pretty cool. I really like the design of the actual, I guess, end product of the dragon armor, but this isn't too bad either. You can see that they just had a little bit more ways to go, though, until it was actually complete and finalized. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. Which piece of Ninjago concept art that we looked at in today's video do you think is the best one or the coolest concept? And would you like to see any of these pop up again throughout the Ninjago story? Leave all your thoughts down below in the comments, you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed today's video. That'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And as always, check out the links down below in the description from other forms of social media. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Once again, you guys, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.